The subject of my investigation is the trial that inspired the new Netflix documentary that everyone is talking about, The Perfect Neighbor. It's a tragic story about 4 children who lost their mother due to a senseless neighborhood feud and one woman's rage. Here's the story. In the quiet streets of Ocala, Florida, a mother named Ajike Owens raised 4 children, her home a haven of love and trust. That house, however, would soon become the epicenter of a tragedy captured in raw detail. On June 2nd, 2023, neighbor Susan Lawrence stood behind her locked front door and fired her gun, killing AJ through the threshold.
911, I just saw the emergency.
Are you having problems with the neighbor's children?
Hello, Sheriff's Office. Were any of you guys over here messing with this lady?
No, we were playing football.
Sheriff's Office.
I called because the kids from across the street, they shouldn't be screaming and running around.
Okay.
Like to play. Sharon said they can't walk or even throw their football over here.
911, what is the address of the emergency?
Several kids out there right now are screaming, yelling.
9 times out of 10, that lady over there probably called. Oh, I know.
It's like the kids.
She thinks we're trying to steal her truck.
Do you even know how to drive?
It clearly says no trespassing, and they're always working the road.
There doesn't need to be a call for service every time the kids are playing in the yard.
She's always messing with people's kids.
Sheriff's Office!
1 minute!
June 2nd, 2023, 9:01 p.m. Ocala, Florida. Police race toward a trespassing complaint when a second 911 call comes through. This time, it's gunfire. When deputies arrive, they find 35-year-old Ajike Owens lying on the ground, bleeding from a gunshot wound to her chest. Her 10-year-old son stands beside her, screaming. The woman who pulled the trigger? Still inside her locked apartment, claiming self-defense. Within hours, Susan Lawrence walks free. No handcuffs. No arrest. What you're about to see is the interrogation footage of Susan Lawrence, the 58-year-old white neighbor who shot and killed AJ through her door. For years, Lawrence had been terrorizing AJ's children, calling them racist slurs, throwing objects at them, and calling police repeatedly because they played outside. On this day, Lawrence threw a roller skate at AJ's son, then threw an iPad at him, cracking the screen. When AJ came to her door to confront her about attacking her children, Lawrence grabbed a gun and fired through the locked door. AJ wasn't armed. She was simply a mother protecting her kids. And now she's dead.
Susan?
Okie dokie.
Hi, I'm Susan. I appreciate you coming back in and talking. You already have a water? Is there anything else you can get for you right now? Fine. You're doing okay? All right, very good. Again, if you remember, Detective Steve. This is Detective Pender.
I'm Detective Pender. I haven't got a chance to meet you yet, but I'm looking forward to being able to speak with you. I work with Detective Stiff. We work together. I was learning different things. So, anyways, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and let him cover what he needs to, and then I'll get a chance to meet you then, okay?
So, Susan, obviously when we spoke the other night, it was kind of a lot of things going on still. A lot of the pieces of what happened were still trying to be put together. Since then, we've obviously talked to a lot more witnesses who were there. We've gained access to some video from around the area of where your complex is located. So during those interviews, during that process of obtaining new stuff, obviously it brings new questions that we wanted to kind of cover with you, try to verify some of the stuff you said, as well as clarify things that we don't quite understand. So I was hoping that we could do that today. Obviously, just like last time, I want to make sure that you understand your rights and everything. So before we get started, I just have to read you the same thing I did last time. Yes. Okay. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer with him, have him present with you while you're being questioned. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you before any questioning if you wish. You can decide at any time to execute these rights, not answer any questions, or make any statements. Do you understand each of those rights I've explained to you? Okay. And having those rights in mind, you willing to talk to us now?
Yes.
Okay. So, like I said, we've talked to a bunch of other people since then. Has there been anything that you've thought of since you and I have last talked, in person at least, that you can remember that maybe at the time, because there was a lot of emotions and, you know?
I don't know what else I could tell you, honestly.
Okay. So nothing that happened that night that you didn't remember at the time, or you just, like I said, there was a lot going on that you maybe didn't think to say?
I don't know what to tell you because I thought I told you everything.
Okay, all right. So some of the things, like I said, we were just trying to clarify because we were in the room together for a while talking, and we went over a lot of different things. So one of the things I wanted to clarify with you is, and try to understand better, is when Ajike was at the door, when she approached the door, when was it that you realized that it was her coming to the door?
Because I said, who's there?
Okay, how did you know someone was there initially? Was it because?
There was a huge banging.
Okay.
Just pounding at that door.
Okay. So initially, there was no words, it was just the pounding?
Yeah.
That's what started the interaction there?
Yes.
And where was the pounding at initially, where it first began?
The front door.
At the front door?
Yes.
Okay. How many times did she was it just like one, or was it several?
It was just bang, bang, bang.
Okay.
Bang.
All right. And then you said you asked her who's there? Okay. And what was said then?
I think she said, why do you speak to my children this way? And I said, listen, I'm not going to speak to you. Go away. You know, if she had a problem, she should have called you guys. You know, honestly. I mean, if she really thought there was something seriously wrong, I don't understand why she just came over and just started pounding on my door and, you know, screaming and yelling. So.
And then what happened after you said to go away?
To go away, and then it got quiet for a bit, and then she started really banging, you know, just pounding on that door. She was relentless.
How long is a bit, would you say?
I don't know,
Like
because
5-10 seconds or 2 minutes? Or?
It was an extended period of time, probably 20 to 30 seconds, easily.
But during that time, you didn't hear anything else? Did you think she went away?
No, well, I obviously knew she didn't go away because she was screaming while she was pounding.
Describe that. When you say screaming, describe what does that mean?
She was just, you're not supposed to speak to my children this way. Why did you, you know, and then she was saying, I'm going to kill you. And I'm like, holy shit. You know, and that's what I mean.
Well, you said there was like the initial barrage of the pounding, and you said, who's there? And she said, you know, what you said about not talking to her children that way.
Yeah.
And then you said it got quiet. So there was no banging, there was no words being said.
Because I thought she went away.
That's what I was asking, basically. I'm sorry if I...
No, it's okay. I thought, all right, you know, she's just going to do whatever she wants to do.
And you said that was like 20 to 30 seconds?
Yeah.
And then did she start yelling again first, or was there more banging?
It was banging, it was yelling. I thought she was just going to break down the door.
Okay.
So, I mean, my heart was pounding, and I was like, she's really going to kill me.
Okay,
that's all I felt.
When she first came up and where were you when she started the beating?
I was in the
very first time. You were in the bathroom when she started beating.
Yeah.
And did you come to the door?
Well, I was approaching the door, and then she started screaming, and I knew who it was.
Okay.
I said, that's it, I'm not opening this door.
Okay.
You know, because I figured if she came in, she would just absolutely, you know, pound me into the ground.
All right, and then when it became silent, after that first round of beating on your door, where were you at then? Did you go?
I went to wash my hands, honestly.
Okay.
You know, because I didn't know who was at the door, and I wanted to know, and then I was like,
okay.
You know, so I went back and washed my hands.
Okay. So that's during the time where it was kind of quiet, and you thought that maybe she went away. Okay. And when the banging and the yelling started again, where were you at then?
I think I was in the kitchen.
Okay. All right. And then what happened?
And then she just kept banging and yelling. I'm like, you need to leave. You're trespassing. Get off my porch. You know, get out of here. You know, I'm not talking to you. Leave.
Okay. Who else was outside the door besides Ajike?
No idea.
You don't know?
I have no idea.
Where were the other kids? Because I know the kids had been over there prior to her coming over.
Yeah,
or?
they were right by the, you know, where the fence is, and then there's a sidewalk. They were right beyond that sidewalk, inside where it's supposed to be no trespassing.
Okay, so they were outside of the fence while she was banging on the door?
I have No idea.
Oh, you're not
No,
sure?
I have no idea.
Okay.
You asked me when the kids were there earlier.
Right.
So, and the kids finally, I went inside. I figured they left.
So you didn't know who else was out there
No.
at that
No
time?
idea.
Okay. So you went to the kitchen and she was still pounding on the door
Pounding
and
on the door.
yelling. And I know we've kind of gone over this a lot, but I want to make sure, now we're getting more like in order of things, because the first time we talked, it was kind of just like, it all came out all at once. And now that you've had a little bit of time to kind of think about things that happened again and try to get it in a good order that things happen, because it's very important to be able to say, okay, this happened first, this is what happened next, so that we don't get them confused or anything.
Okay.
So after that initial silence where, well, I wouldn't say silence, but it got quiet, you were washing your hands in the bathroom, and then the pounding and the yelling started again, and you went to the kitchen. What were you doing in the kitchen? Just,
I was looking for my phone.
okay.
So I put my phone down somewhere and I started panicking and I started searching for the phone. And then she just kept banging and banging and banging. I'm going to kill you, get out of here. And I'm like, I have nowhere to go. I mean, I was in the kitchen. There's the sliders and the sliders are always locked. And just that one door, so there's no escape.
Okay.
I couldn't leave. I couldn't get out of there. I was like, Jesus Christ. And she was pounding so hard. The mirror on my wall was shaking.
Okay. So that first, I'm sorry to go back, but that first time that she pounds on the door, how long do you think that lasted before there was kind of the silence? I know you said she hit the door, you said, who's there? And that, what was it said?
Probably 5-10 seconds she was pounding the first time.
Okay. And then when it started again, how long, and I'm going to jump ahead just a little bit, but we'll kind of come back. When she started pounding on the door again and saying all that stuff to the point where you fired the gun, how long do you think that lasted?
2 to 5 minutes.
2 to 5 minutes.
I don't
Oh,
know. It just,
wow.
everything's kind of, it was a while. I mean, it was a while. And I kept thinking, okay, you guys are going to show up, because I had called earlier and no one was coming. I'm like, shit, couldn't find my phone. And she was just banging and banging, screaming at me, telling me, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill you. I'm like, she's really going to kill me this time. That's all I kept thinking. She's really going to come in this house and kill me.
Okay. When did you find your phone? At what point?
After I shot her. I just started searching the house frantically until I found it, and I wanted to make sure that I called and said, I shot, because I heard her go, ugh.
So where was your phone?
I think it was in my computer room.
In the computer room? Okay.
So, let me just understand this a little better, because I'm not really sure. So, the woman that got shot, what is her name?
AJ.
AJ. Right, it's AJ.
Yeah.
Okay, and how long have you known her?
I really didn't know her. I just, she was a neighbor across the street.
Okay, so how long has she been a neighbor across the street from you? Help me understand that.
A year and a half, 2 years.
Okay, year and a half and 2 years. And in that year and a half and 2 years, how many times have you guys been able to talk?
We've never talked. It's more like screaming.
No, okay, all right. So maybe better would be communicate. How many times have you guys been able to communicate in that year and a half or 2 years?
2-3 times.
2 or 3 times. And in those 2 or 3 times over a year and a half and 2 years, what were you guys screaming about? What were you guys communicating about?
She would take her dog and walk it on my sidewalk to make sure it's shit on the sidewalk. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Of all the places you can walk and take your animal, you're going to come here. And
Sure.
She said, it's the only place my dog will go to the bathroom.
Okay.
I'm
So-
like, no, I don't think so.
Okay, so you guys would have a disagreement regarding that, some screaming regarding the dog pooping where it shouldn't. What else would you guys communicate about in that 2 or 3 times?
Then one time she was talking to the neighbors and she said, oh, that bitch over there is crazy. And I went, no, I'm not going to, sorry. I walked over, I said, what is your problem? And she just went on a tirade. I have never heard someone scream like this woman. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, she exploded. And I'm like, oh shit.
How long ago was that?
2 months ago.
2 months?
2 to 3 months ago. And then she was saying I called her kids all kinds of names, and I'm like, no, I didn't. And the more I said no, the more irate she got. Finally, I'm like, what, let me just back off, say yes, I'll apologize, and scurry away.
What kind of things was she saying that you called her kids?
That I called them racial slurs, that I called them slaves, and that's never happened. I mean, when she said, I'm like, what are you, stop already, stop lying, And I was like,
Okay, but then we're talking about what happened there today. And this woman that she passed away, you said that you guys have yelled at each other 3 or 4 times in about a year and a half to 2 years. Is that right?
Yes.
And the last time she yelled at you a lot. Did you ever I worked as a patrol deputy for years before becoming a detective. Did you guys ever get in like a fight in the street or anything like that? No, nothing like that.
You gotta be kidding me.
I'm
sorry.
I gotta ask, because I don't know you that well.
No.
Did she ever brandish a weapon or anything like that, or something?
The only thing she ever did is she picked up the no trespassing sign and threw it at me and hit me.
Okay. And I know that the police came out a lot of times. Did the police ever come out for that time when she threw the sign?
Yeah, and then everybody in the neighborhood said, oh, we didn't see anything.
Okay.
So it was a he said, she said, so they said they couldn't charge anything.
Sure.
And like, all right.
And obviously you have a firearm. I haven't had a chance to ask you about this. Now, is that a gun that you've had for years? You just had it for a couple weeks? Help me understand that.
No, over a year.
Okay, over a year. And where do you normally keep that secured in the house?
That's usually next. It was in a garbage can next to my bed.
Okay. And is it like?
Now that was the Remington that you're talking about that you got over a year ago?
Yes.
Okay, so when we were at the house, there was the other one, the 22,
The
was a
Ruger.
Ruger. How long have you had that firearm?
A few months.
Just a few months?
Yeah, not very long. And the only reason I did it is because it was so expensive to shoot the Remington.
Oh, with the 380 rounds were expensive,
way more expensive. So I got the little plinker, just target practice and stuff like that.
Are you experienced with firearms? You got two guns, and it sounds like you have the little plinker, and you know about the price of ammo. Are you well versed with them?
I used to be terrified of firearms. And then a friend said, you really can't defend yourself. He said you should think about getting a gun.
Okay.
So,
when did you first get a gun? Was it just, or did you have other guns historically?
no, I never did.
Okay.
I first bought a 9mm, but it was just way too much gun for me, so I sold it.
And
then I got the little 380.
Okay. And did you go to any kind of training for those using guns, like going to the range, or tell me about that?
Went to the range, watched videos, all the other stuff, self-educating, and I was going to go take a permit to carry course.
Sure.
And I didn't get around to it.
Yeah, okay. So you were self-training yourself, you had plans to do that in the future, but it didn't come to that. So thank you for helping me understand that. And describe to me, AJ, you've only had these arguments with her a few times, but what I'm confused about is that we're talking about her banging on it 3 times, and then there's the pause, and there's everything else you just described in Detective Stitt. And you said that this was the time that she was going to come and kill you. That's confusing to me because it sounds like you guys really didn't have any other times that she was going to come and kill you.
No, she was saying she's going to kill me. I mean, she was verbalizing it. She was saying, I'm going to kill you.
Okay.
That's how, it's not like this is the time she's going to come and kill me. I mean,
so I'm trying to get into your mind, and I'm trying to be brought to that moment to why you believe that. And we were talking, you were in the bathroom, then you were in the kitchen. I mean, I know that she's saying something, and you're inside your house, and she's on the other side of that wall and that door. Were you able to ever see her to see if she had anything in her hands?
There's no peephole.
There's no peephole, thanks. Okay. Were you able to look through a window or anything to see if she had anything in her hands or anything?
No.
Okay. So you don't know if what's going on, but you can hear her voice.
Yes.
And you said that she's hitting the wall hard enough that, was it the door?
The mirror.
That the mirror's moving?
Yes.
And she's hitting the door? Okay. And there's no peephole or anything like that. You don't know who all's out there, but you can hear her voice?
Yes.
Okay. What made you shoot that spot on the door? It sounds like you had some experience with the gun, so bring me to that moment where what happened?
I grabbed the gun, I was shaking like a leaf, and the more she pounded, the more she screamed. I was like, stop, 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 go away, move away. She wouldn't move away. Finally, I'm going to kill you, and that was the last time, and I just fired the weapon.
Okay. Was there a spot you picked or something like that?
I just kind of, there was the door, I knew she was at the door.
So since the last time you and I talked, I went in the house, we, did the stuff inside the house as far as photographing, looking at where everything is at related to where the door is. And you said you had shot from the kitchen, so when you come in, it's like a kitchen table?
The table that's there, the 2 seats with the table.
Okay.
That's where I shot from.
That's where you shot from. Okay. Like right next to it?
Yes.
Or like further back?
It was, I remember the table being there.
Okay. How were you holding the gun when you fired it?
Like
With
that.
2 hands?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you were initially in the kitchen when, you went to the restroom and then you were in the kitchen looking for your phone while she was pounding on the door. And you said that you believe it was between 2 and 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Was that total time before from when the first pounding started to the time that you fired the shot, 2 to 5 minutes, or do you think it was shorter time than that, or longer?
To me, it seemed like 2 to 5 minutes.
2 to 5 minutes
More,
total.
Well, by the time I shot the weapon, at least 5 minutes.
Okay.
So-
Did she ever try to open that glass sliding door, or open the door handle, or anything like that, or was it just the pounding?
I just remember her pounding and pounding and pounding.
Okay. So you said that you kept the firearm in the trash can in the bedroom, so at some point, did you go?
Yes,
So you thought about it and said, I might need this, or?
absolutely. I mean, I got terrified. I mean, I was so terrified she was going to come in and kill me.
Okay, so you left the kitchen area?
Yes.
And that's when you went to your bedroom?
Yes,
Okay. Where was the other gun at that time, do you know?
I thought it was right there.
The Ruger?
I thought the Ruger was right there.
I mean, we found, yeah, it was, but you said that you used the 380, right?
Yeah.
When you fired the gun? Okay. Is there any reason why you chose that gun aside the other one? They were both loaded, right?
They were both loaded. I was just the one that I picked up.
Okay, did you handle the other gun at all?
I don't remember.
Don't remember.
I honest to God don't remember.
Okay. Because the reason I asked is when we went in there, the 22 was actually on top of the 380. So, I'm just trying to figure out how it is that you went in there, took the 380, fired the 380, went back, and you would have put it back in there, but then the other gun was on top of it. So I'm just trying to figure out if maybe, you're just moving stuff around after things happened or something fell. I'm just trying to understand.
It may have fallen off the bed. I don't know. I just remember looking for my phone, and I just remember I put the gun back in. So, there's all kinds of papers in there, so it could have flip-flopped.
Is that an actual, do you use it for trash, or those important papers that were in there?
Those are papers that I keep.
Okay. All right. So you said it was about, let me ask you this, and maybe this can kind of help us get a better time frame. From the time that you called 911, these kids are on my property again, they're yelling, what happened that first 911 call?
Mm-hmm.
That time that you hung up with 911, how long before she showed up and she was pounding on the door? After you hung up?
10 minutes.
10 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. So about 10 minutes after you disconnected and they said, hey, we have deputies on the way,
Mm-hmm.
10 minutes after that is when she started pounding on
Yes.
your door. Okay. And you say anywhere, you believe from 2 to 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there, and I just want to be clear, 2 to 5 minutes from the first time she pounded to the time where you felt in danger enough to pull the trigger?
Yeah.
Okay. And how many times, I know this is, how many times do you think she was hitting your door during that time frame that you believe is about 2 to 5 minutes?
She just kept pounding it. Just kept pounding it and pounding it.
So just
She was
more
screaming.
than 5, more than 50?
God, it had to be, I don't know. I can't even speculate. I just remember her pounding and pounding and screaming and yelling.
Okay. And did you call 911 immediately after?
As soon as I found my phone.
Okay. How much time do you think after you fired the shot?
A few seconds.
So within
I'd
a
say
minute?
within a
And you
minute, yes.
immediately called 911?
Yes.
Did you call anyone else before?
No.
Did you call anyone else after?
No, I don't think so, because you guys were here. I mean, you guys came right away.
Okay.
So. But she's enraged, she's screaming, she's not acting to me what would be like a normal, average, everyday, reasonable person. I mean, to me, that was someone who was really angry.
You're for certain that when you went to retrieve your gun, that's where you keep it in that trash can, that's where it was at? I'm sorry, did you remember
No,
what you were
I-
thinking about? I didn't ask you this before, but I saw inside you have it's almost a home office set up.
Mhm.
Do you work from home?
Yes.
You do? So you're pretty much, you're always there and you're always
Yes.
having to be
Mm-hmm.
susceptible to whatever
Exactly.
they do.
Well, I kind of want to go through my notes real quick,
Mhm.
make sure that we covered everything. We covered a lot of things. Can I get you another water or anything while I go through this?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, let me go through the notes and make sure we didn't miss anything here. And we'll be right back in.
Is there anything else that you need right now? Use the restroom or anything? Use the restroom? Okay, give me just 1 second. Make sure the
Walking down the hall so
restroom's
you don't
clear.
get lost. Okie dokie.
Were you able to go to the bathroom?
Yes.
All right, so while we were in there going over everything, and my supervisor came in, he's actually kind of been listening a little, and something that caught my ear, like when we were talking earlier, you had mentioned the words, and I asked you to repeat it because I wanted to make sure I heard you correctly. You had mentioned terminology like reasonable and prudent in reference to how AJ was acting at your door while she was trespassing and everything. Where did that come from, that terminology? Is that
Watching TV.
watching TV? Okay. Like documentary stuff, or like what?
Probably just crime shows and stuff.
Crime shows? Okay. I have to ask you this, is, have you done any research on like the laws as far as like in Florida, as far as self-defense and things like that?
I looked at it today.
You looked at it
That when
today?
I was on Facebook, just some things that, they had it up on Facebook.
Describe that. What did you, specifically, what you were reading about and learning about?
They said self-defense, and I'm trying to think of what else I looked at today. So much crap, mostly emails. But I just remember saying self-defense, and there was a bunch of lawyers and stuff like that.
So, prior to today, even the last time that you and I spoke on very early Saturday morning, you had used some of that same kind of terminology in describing the situation that occurred at your front door. Prior to today, had you ever done any kind of research like that? And before I ask, let me just say, if we were to look through everything in your phone or your home desktop computer, is there anything kind of research on your internet history that would show that you've done research on like self-defense? Or have you ever heard of the term stand your ground?
Yes.
Have you ever done any kind of research on that?
Yes, when it was mentioned on some guy shot someone at a convenience store, and they said stand your ground laws.
Was that like a Florida situation? Because I know every state has kind of different laws.
I think it was Florida. I think it was Florida.
Okay. And when was that?
God, years ago.
It was years ago?
Yeah, that was a years ago thing.
So nothing recent that would be on like your internet browser history?
I just looked it up today.
Right, but I mean other than, basically before this incident occurred at your door, but we're not talking about like a couple years ago. We're talking about within the last few months, would there be, because your internet browser, even if you delete it or you go on private browser, if we take a look at those things, because we did go through your phone, the judge signed an order for us to be able to do that. So if that were the case, if we were just to look through that, would there show anything that you were looking up, stand your ground or self-defense laws in Florida on the internet?
I don't know, I looked up tons of stuff.
Is it a possibility that you looked that up?
Could have been, I don't know.
Okay.
I look up, I
And
just,
the
when I
reason
read
I ask is
articles,
I'm
I
trying
just
to-
go and see why the laws were, so I want to know why, like if they have an article, what happened in the situation, what,
Well, Susan, I think you know the reason why I'm asking that question. You're smart, okay? And the reason is...
Oh, hell no. No, absolutely. I know what you're thinking. Did I look up the laws so I could do something? No, absolutely
This is not a
No.
situation where you set something up
No.
because you were
No.
tired of this person, you were
No.
tired of the situation that they put you in.
Absolutely no.
Okay.
Sorry, no.
Okay, so while I was out there going through the notes and everything, I went through, so when someone calls 911, as soon as that call goes to our communication center, it logs it, gives us a timestamp. Hour, minute, second, from the very first time that call was received to the time that it's disconnected, okay? And that's for every single time someone calls. So the first time when you called 911 talking about the boys out there trespassing and things of that, so that call started at 8:54 p.m. Does that sound about right?
Yes. I really wasn't looking at the clock
Okay.
right here. I just remember calling.
That's what time it says on our call center. And that call lasted for 5 minutes and it disconnected.
Okay.
At 8:59, deputies are on the way.
Okay.
Okay? Now you estimated that it was approximately 10 minutes after you disconnected until the AJ started pounding on your door. Is that correct? Is that
Yes.
what? Okay. So the second 911 call where you called, lady was banging on my door, I shot her through the door. That call came into our call center. It was received at 9:01, which is 2 minutes after you hung up with the communication center the first time. So that's 2 minutes that all these things that you say occurred happened at your front door. From pounding and pounding and pounding and pounding, I'm going to kill you, all these things. Within 2 minutes, she showed up at your front door and did all these things to the time that you pulled the trigger, went and found your phone, and then called 911. So, and that's why I'm trying to get...
To me, it seemed like that amount of time. That's why I thought it was that amount of time.
Well, so clearly we've established that that was not true, that,
Okay,
that that's not the
understood.
case, but that's what you felt it was.
It
So
felt
you
like
also
that.
told me that that's what you heard, that she was
Yes.
going to kill you. Is it possible that she did not say that, and that's what you heard or you believed, just like you believed it was 10 minutes between those calls?
I just thought she said, I'm going to kill you. I mean, that's what I heard. That's why I was so in fear of my life. I was like, Jesus Christ, and she's pounding on my door. She's going to break in. She's going to kill me.
But is it a possibility, if you believe that there was 10 minutes to 15 minutes, adding in 10 minutes before it started, and then approximately another 5 minutes on top of that, that you believe that 2 minutes was 15 minutes, was it a possibility that maybe you thought you heard that, but it wasn't that what she actually said?
I have no idea. That's what I heard.
Okay.
I'm telling you what I heard.
But I can tell you right now, what we've learned, what we've discussed all leading up to this, it doesn't make any sense. So this is your opportunity to actually tell us that something that does make sense. I'm not going to hold it against you. I'm not going to get mad. But whenever AJ was coming over that evening, what happened? What happened? Bring me to that moment when you had the gun in your hand. What were you thinking?
All I wanted her was to go away. I was just, I felt she was going to come through that door and kill me. I'm sorry, that's what I felt. I just felt she was going to come through the door and kill me.
Okay.
It was a tremendous fear. I mean,
Did you feel bad for what happened?
Oh, Christ, yes.
Do you? Because the first time that we talked, there was a point where I informed you that AJ had passed away. And I wasn't sure if you'd been aware of that or not. I know they transported her in an ambulance
Yes.
from there.
No, I saw them doing CPR.
Yeah. So when I informed you of that, you showed emotion. You showed what appeared to me to be at least somewhat of a remorse for what had happened. So do you feel bad for what had happened?
Absolutely.
Do you feel bad for the children?
Christ, yes.
So, and I think, Detective Pender we're trying to give you the opportunity to try to explain some of these discrepancies in the story, the things that don't really add up or make sense. And you maintaining that you were in fear for your life.
Yes.
It just doesn't make sense. And I feel like at this point, today you really haven't, and I'm not judging you, everybody processes things differently. So I understand that. But you haven't really seemed remorseful for today, at least, for what had happened.
Oh, God. It just makes me sick. I don't know I can't take it back. It's transpired. It's in the past. I don't know what the hell to do. It's just probably me shutting down again.
Okay. Do you think that's a trauma response or something? I know you said you had gone through a lot of
Probably
flat
because I
affect and
just-
things like that
I
in
don't know
the
what the
past.
hell. I mean, it's a horrible situation.
For 4 days, Susan Lawrence walked free while AJ's family grieved. She claimed Florida's Stand Your Ground law gave her the right to kill an unarmed woman through a locked door. The community erupted in protests. Civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump represented AJ's family, calling it an unconscionable killing of a mother who simply knocked on a door. On June 6, 2023, Lawrence was finally arrested and charged with manslaughter. In August 2024, an all-white jury found her guilty. She showed no emotion as the verdict was read, while AJ's family cried tears of relief. Judge Robert Hodges said, "The shooting was completely unnecessary. She was behind a locked door. Police were already on their way. She was safe, but she chose to put herself in front of that door and fire." Lawrence was sentenced to 25 years in prison in November 2024. Before sentencing, she said, "I am so sorry I took AJ's life. I never intended to kill her, but intent doesn't bring AJ back." AJ's mother, Pamela Diaz, said She won't be present for the baptisms, the proms, graduations, their first love, engagements, marriages, children, all the important moments that a parent and a child share together. For children are growing up without their mother because a racist neighbor couldn't stand seeing black children play outside. AJ was joyful, vibrant, and devoted. She was a compass for her children. Her life mattered. If AJ's story moved you, hit that like button and share this video. Subscribe to our channel because we cover cases that expose injustice and demand answers. And tell us in the comments, do you think 25 years was enough? What needs to change? Rest in peace, Ajike Owens. Your legacy lives on.